We are pleased to present a wide array of both historic and modern interpretations of art of the American West at our auction in Dallas on November 20th. We're featuring paintings and sculpture by leading artists of the West that span over a century and a half. A highlight of the sale will be works by leading contemporary artists, including this wonderful example of the art of Howard Terpning. Terpning, best known for his authentic and evocative paintings of 19th century Plains Indians, is one of the most sought-after artists by today's collectors of Western art. This depiction of two Indians making their way down a snow-covered and windy forest trail, titled A Winter Trail, showcases Terpning's talent in capturing not only the authentic details of the historic period, but also the feel of a snowy and blustery day. Frank Mccarthy was another modern painter who chose to portray Native American culture from an historic perspective. McCarthy, who had been a very successful magazine and book illustrator before turning to easel painting, was a great student of Native American life and culture. His paintings, like Stolen Ponies, were products of exhaustive research and great attention to detail. McCarthy was adept at the depiction of moments of high drama and adventure and was a master at presenting scenes of intense action. Like McCarthy and Terpning, Roy Anderson is a student of the history of the American West. He also, in addition to being a fine artist, raises championship paint horses. His horses are similar to the mounts used by the greatest horsemen of the Southern Plains, the Comanche, who ranged over thousands of miles in Texas and Oklahoma. In The Trace Leads South, Anderson shows Comanche warriors following an ancient buffalo trail. Anderson is one of the few modern artists who specialize in the depiction of the Comanche. His paintings present a visual history of a people who at one time ruled much of Texas. Teresa Eliot presents a very different view of the American West. Rather than focusing on history, Eliot presents bold and colorful images of today's West, particularly modern ranch life. In her vivid portraits of cattle, she utilizes bright colors and varying textures and shadows to create dramatic studies that elevate her subjects to iconic status. We also have several examples of art by past masters of Western painting. E.I. Couse was one of the founders of the Taos Society of Painters, a group of artists who settled in northern New Mexico at the turn of the 19th to the 20th centuries and chose to paint the native Pueblo culture. Couse is best known for portraits of Taos Indians, but prior to his move to New Mexico, he spent several months in the Pacific Northwest painting members of the Klickitat and Umatilla tribes. Pride of Camp shows an Umatilla tribal member painted in his native environment and dress. Classically trained in both Europe and America, Couse was a talented portraitist and captured the dignity and personality of his subject. Another artist who focused on the native culture of the Southwest was Gerard Delano, who settled in Colorado and traveled extensively to collect first-hand information on several southwestern tribes. Delano specialized in depicting these Indians going about their daily lives. His paintings, like Navajos on Horseback, capture the ordinary moments that make up the lives of his subjects. A master at watercolor as well as oil, Delano evokes both the native cultures of the Southwest, but also the amazing clarity of light found there. Other artists represented in this auction chose to focus on the grandeur of the Western landscape, rather than the history of the region. Birger Sanson grew up in Nebraska, but traveled throughout the West and Southwest. He was one of the last members of the Taos Society of Artists and developed a bold and painterly style in his paintings of the beauty of the Western landscape. Colorado Landscape was painted in the early 1920s and was executed at the height of his artistic career. Sanson's paintings with their heavy layers of paint show a vigor and energy that few other artists of the periods were able to master. He created a singular style that bridged the gap between the great masters of the 19th century and the innovative painters of the next century. Another master of the Western landscape was Edgar Payne, a California painter who created stunning images of the natural beauty of the West, particularly the mountains of the Sierra Nevadas. Like Sanson, Payne used bold and energetic brushstrokes to capture the light and subtle coloration of Western landscapes. His paintings, like High in the Sierras, were often done on site or in plein air. These are only a few of the over 400 lots that will be in our auction. We have included paintings and sculpture that reflect a wide range of Western history, as well as depictions of the West of the day, and we hope that you'll join us on November 20th.